whether you're able to make it somewhere near the ocean or lake, or you're simply lounging in PJs under a blanket in the AC, we could all use a good page turner.
Well, that's exactly right. From mysteries you can toss in your canvas tote to young adult favorites, we've rounded up some of our favorite reads, and here to join us to talk a little bit about some of our favorite books and some of your favorite books, we've got Amber. She's the KDL programming specialist. Good morning, Amber.
Good morning. Well, thank you so much for having me here today.
Well, thank you very much. All right, well, let's start off. Let's go right to it. You've got a book called Well Traveled by Jen DeLuca. So let's just jump right in.
Oh, perfect. So that is one of my favorite, like, light, fluffy beach reads. If you are looking for romance this summer, but also you're kind of like contemplating like life change, this is a perfect book. A lady just realizes her high pressure job and the pressure her family puts on her is too much. And so she quits her job, joins a traveling Renaissance fair, and re-envisions her life and her romance based upon that.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's like plenty of kilts happening, but also like things that are more relatable, like, oh my goodness, why won't people stop emailing me? I'm on vacation.
Yeah, I think we can relate to that.
I can relate to that, right? Sure. Absolutely.
All right, let's just go down the list.
Yeah, so that was kind of my light and fluffy pick.
Okay.
And then we have also got more of a stretch pick for me personally in Kevin Wilson's Now Is Not the Time to Panic. It is about some teenagers who create art one like really long, hot, hazy, bored summer. But how that art expands beyond them to influence their entire town, and now how a decade later that is still impacting the life of the main character, Frankie, and how that art is kind of haunting her and influencing the world around her. So it's really interesting. It wasn't one that I thought I would initially like when I picked it up, but it was very compelling.
Okay, I like that. I love that when they surprise you too, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You pick it up and you're like, this seems kind of interesting, but maybe not for me. And then you're like, oh my goodness. Okay, it is for me.
100%.
And then the next book I brought for you for all of the murder mystery aficionados.
I was saying, that's me right here.
And also for all of the folks who are just fans of like the Great British Baking Show, we have, that's all of us. We have The Golden Spoon, which is a murder mystery set in a Great British Baking Show style competition that takes place in the US though, and on like a crumbling manor. And one day, somebody gets murdered is like the very beginning of the book, and then you bop back in time a little bit and meet all of the contestants. You meet the hosts. Every single chapter is from a different point of view, and so you're figuring out both what these characters have going on in their lives and why they might want to murder someone as you try to figure out who actually got murdered at the very beginning.
I like it.
Right,
Yeah.
so it's a lot of twists.
Keeps you guessing. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
That YA pick that you mentioned, Left-Handed Booksellers of London. This is kind of like my fantasy pick for people who want to get into fantasy, but don't want necessarily like all of the great world building that can happen in like the Wheel of Time. This is just a fun book about a teenage woman who goes to London. She's about to start art school. And when she gets there, she accidentally witnesses the murder of a human-like creature. And this is how she learns about this supernatural world that's like in modern London, but she hasn't known about it before. And then the supernatural world starts following her, and she's got to figure out, with the help of the people who are like in charge of keeping the supernatural world on track, which are booksellers, right? So they've got to figure out what is so interesting about her and keep her safe.
Wow.
Now, is that a single book? Is there a series for those? Or?
It can be a standalone book, but actually the sequel to it just came out a few months ago. So you can read this book individually or you can read them together, and they are both super good.
Okay.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
And then I also, for a more of a sci-fi pick, we have this book right here, A Psalm for the Wild Built. And that book is like, in this really gentle, peaceful world, a monk who goes around and giving people tea and listening to their problems is kind of like unsure about their life and what the choices they're making. And then all of a sudden, a robot appears out of the wilderness because, right? And then this robot is asking, what do people need? So it's kind of like a gentle, funny exploration of, what do people need? What does this one individual need? So it's like a really gentle, if it's like a rainy day and you just want something something cozy and quiet to read, this is the book for you.
It's a short one too.
It is a very short one, which is always nice.
Well, we only have about 30 seconds left, but really quick, Michelle and I are going to toss up really quick. One of our favorites that we were both reading is called Lesson in Chemistry.
Yes.
1960s.
So good.
We've got a chemist, Elizabeth
Yes.
Zott. She's working in kind of a world of all male, so to speak. Lots of twists and turns. So that was our one pick that we thought was good. That,
One of the best books I've ever read.
agreed.
Oh, good.
Female empowerment,
Yes.
great storyline. It's got a little TV in
Little
it,
TV
so
in it, too. I think that's part of
we
it,
can
too.
relate, you know. So
Yes.
yeah.
So that was
Such a good
our
book.
one pick as well. So.
And that's one that's been on my list for forever, so I'm going to bump
You
that
might need
up
to
on the
bump
list.
that
up. There you go.
Exactly, yes.
Awesome.
Yep. Well, thank you so much, Ava, for joining us. Kent District Library, just a reminder, they've got their Summer Wonder Reading Challenge going on as well. That goes until August 12th. For more information, all you need to do is go to kdl.org. We'll be right back.